Hi, I'm Kinga Jacob, owner of Kinga Recovery Support and Wellness. I wanted to do a video right when you got here to tell you a little bit about why these services are happening. I have worked in the addictions and recovery industry for about 7 years. And I've been on my own personal recovery and wellness journey for 10 years. I've been abstinent from drugs and alcohol for 10 years. September 5th, 2012 is my clean and sober date. I am not an abstinence coach. What I am is someone that can guide you through your recovery journey, whatever that looks like for you. I have worked with thousands of clients, and that's not an exaggeration at all. And what I have noticed are two gigantic obstacles that keep people from starting their own recovery journey. And these obstacles keep people sick. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those obstacles. I worked in withdrawal management for 6 years. Which is a detox, which is where people go when they need to come off of drugs and alcohol. And from there, I spent a year running an inpatient rehab program for people in early recovery. So what I noticed while I was working there was that I would get emails and I would get phone calls from clients that had grown very attached to the programming I run for them, whether they were in detox at some point with me or had taken my recovery program in the past. And I would get these frantic calls from clients saying that they just wanted to have a conversation with me, or they wanted to exchange some emails with me because they really found it beneficial the way that I interacted with them. And the tough thing about working in a corporate world is I was very, very limited in my time, and I could not dedicate enough time to my clients. This is very much that stereotypical, the meeting that should have been an email, being called to do all these various things where all I really wanted to do was be in the group room working with my clients. So I decided to quit my job, and I have quit my job, and it's so far been the best decision I've made. As it goes with quitting anything, there is a fear of the unknown and a grief of this life that I had imagined that I would have. But so far, this life is winning. So I had the exact same feelings when I was quitting drugs and alcohol. The fear of the unknown was terrible, and I couldn't really picture what my life would look like if I wasn't a little bit buzzed and a little bit stoned all the time. Substances for me were a way of feeling normal. And at first it starts off as partying and having fun with friends. And, I love a good blackout in a park. But it progressed, as things do, into daily use. And it was the only way for me to feel normal in this world. I never felt good enough. I never felt grown up enough, smart enough, attractive enough, interesting enough. And I know now that those feelings of not good enough and unworthiness absolutely predated my substance use, and I am grateful that alcohol and drugs came into my life because it gave me a solution to cope with these very uncomfortable feelings that I wasn't even aware that I was having. So I made that decision 10 years ago. It's way better on this side. So why I started these services is because the obstacle of working in a corporate world wasn't giving me enough time to do what I do best, which is working with clients and telling people exactly what they need to hear. And the second obstacle is when clients would call me desperate for change in that moment, desperate for change. They would do anything to do something differently. And I couldn't help them because we didn't have beds and the program was full. And referring them to outside addictions counseling involved being on a wait list for just an intake assessment, or being on a minimum 6-month wait list to get into a treatment center. When you are actively using, and when you are at that point in your day where you will do anything to make a change and you can't, for me, that is the most frustrating information that I've ever had to deliver, and I never want to do that again, and I will never do that again. So I've created programming videos, an entire book of programs, weekly emails, all of this, from my brain to yours, from my brain, a recovering alcoholic and addict, which if you use those labels, cool. If not, that's also fine. But from someone that has been in recovery from something, not just from substance use, but a whole wealth of other stuff, from my recovering brain to yours, and as a professional that has worked with thousands of people and listened to them and connected with them in a very, very real and authentic way. This is what the programming is for. You will never have to wait to get well ever again. I'm so glad you're here, and let's go.